Okay, so we've kind of gone over how to use a template, but sometimes you can't find exactly what you need. Or maybe you have a little bit more time and kind of want to show that you know how to use Word because almost every company uses Word or a similar product. So Chelsea today is going to show us how to do a cover letter because cover letters go with resumes and they're probably just as important. So of course, just like your resume, you want to make it stand out.
Alright, and one of the things that I want to mention about a cover letter is this is just a mock-up letter that I have from like when I was in high school, and you definitely want to make sure it's only a page. If you go over a page or you use too big a font, you're not going to have everybody read it because all they're going to skim for is Microsoft applications, multi-level marketing companies. I mean, that tells them all they need to know is really, okay, do I want to look at her skills or not? So make sure your cover letters are short, sweet, and simple. Now, one thing that I want to do with this is definitely center it. So if you go to page layout and click here, this is vertical alignment for the actual entire page. A lot of people leave it at the top, but if you center the entire page, and you can see it's centered, so it's evenly spaced at the top and the bottom, it just gives it more of a professional layout, and that actually, even if you just print this out, it looks a lot better. It also looks a lot better if you include the address and the name of the person if you know it. But one of the simple things you can do that just spices it up is if you insert, and we're going to go to shapes and just pick on a simple rectangle. We're just going to put one right down here, right on the side. And it'll actually center the rectangle, and what you can do is you can just make it fit the whole screen. So scroll down. But you can see there's the entire page, it looks centered, it's professional, and it just gives it that little extra something that your boss may be looking for, that somebody else may do that. The other thing too is if you notice it didn't completely center it, so you can also always just enter down, and it gives it that little, just that professional layout you want. And you can also, if you're looking to maybe include something, another little feature that is actually very nice is you can add just a simple header, and you can just move it over right up next to there and just put the company's name. So we'll say this is the ABC marketing, and that just gives it that extra level of professionalism that you need. And you can also, with the rectangle, format it. You can change the colors, black. Generally, if you're going to do a bar, you want to stay away from black. I like to use blues because they're softer and they give it just a slightly more professional look. If you use something like, say, orange, it stands out really, really well, but orange is one of those colors that makes you want to look away really, really fast. So you tend to want to stay away from really bright colors. And these shades right here are generally, like this would even be really good just because it's a soft flow of it. So we'll just stick with that. And you can do that. The other thing too is if you take this away, you can actually take away the heading too. And what if you want, you can actually just add bars on the top and the bottom. So you just go back to insert, you can pick shapes, and you just do a little rectangle, and you can just slip it in right up here, make it a nice little thing, and slip it there. You can also put another one at the bottom. It just gives you a fun little way to add some character to a resume, or especially like a cover letter. And you can do this with any project, but like you see, that just gives it that special little thing, and you can change the colors, and that's really all there is to it. The only other thing that I would suggest is a lot of people, when they customize their resumes, they go and they automatically change the font. If you're going to change the font, go with something simple. Like this is a really good font. Here you can use, that was the Hightower text. Times New Roman, obviously. But like if you use something like Bradley Hand, it's a little bit more, it's a harder to read. And so you want to make sure you just use something that's simple. But that's pretty much all you need to create your own custom cover letter.
Thank you so much. Changing the font or the style or especially the colors for the whole document. Can you do that with the custom template?
Yes, actually you can. So one of the things that we can do is if you go up to under Home,
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a couple things in here. So we'll just do a little shape down the entire paragraph, all the way down to the bottom. So it's just got the whole length of the page, and if you want you can change the margins, make it a little bit different, so you can go like wider or narrower.
I bet that helps get everything on one page too, huh?
It does, especially if you want to do like something for like say a graphic design. If you go to the narrow, I mean like you can fit a lot more on there as far as graphic design goes. But we'll just go and stick with the normal for right now. And so if you go back to home, you can see over here we've got change styles. And so they've got style sets, so we can do elegant or formal, or they've got down here a traditional newsprint. So you can just pick any of the styles that you want. They also have, there's a fancy one, and this one actually changes your style, like the actual text of the font and stuff. It'll also change your heading styles too, so like you can see this. And with the headings you can also create, like, you click right in here, you can change the colors. Just go over here, you pick colors, and we can do, like, here's an Austin, this is composite, executive's a good one to stick with, and you just can change your fonts that way as well. And so generally with making something stand out in a professional manner, they say less is more, but you want to have just that tiny little bit of extra. So like even with the fonts, you can do, like this is a classic office, you can change that, or you can also do paragraph spacing. You can make it so that it's open or tight or all of those different things. You can change everything. And you can also, if you're working on multiple documents, you can set it as your default. So if you want a specific layout, or if you're working in a big company where you're running a lot of reports, this is a great way to make sure that no matter who picks up the report, they know it's yours, because you use the same style and the same template all the time. So that's generally how you can do that. And you can also do little things, like with this you can make a watermark. So like if you want somebody to know, you can add your own, remove it, those types of things too. If you're doing like just a professional letter to your boss that's you want them to know is just a do not copy, or one that's just a sample type thing. It's a really good way to show people what your work is if you're going to do a portfolio site too.
Thanks, that's very awesome. That's awesome, and I hope it helps all of our listeners understand that there is a lot of power in Word. It's not just about typing documents and maybe changing a few headings or bolding. There is a lot of power in here, and it's a wonderful skill set to be able to master all of these things, because content obviously does make a difference, but how you present it can make even a bigger difference.
That is so true. Thanks guys for listening. We hope we've helped you.